Johnson asiedunketia, a very renowned, popular, reputable political figure in Ghana. He made quite a statement about a week ago saying, quote unquote, bad wives can cause politicians to engage in corruption. So did he go too far? Did he cross the line? Do politicians engage in corruption because of some bad wives? DSL, stick around. All right, so a popular Ghanaian figure, Johnson asiedunketia, he says, most or some, it doesn't really matter what or how you quantify it, politicians engage in corruption because of their bad wives or greedy wives, so to speak. And this is what I want to talk about today. Does it have any merit to it? Let's start from you. Does it really have a point? Is there a point to it? That bad wives sometimes, push their husbands to engage in corrupt practices when they're in government?
In some way, yeah, he might be right for some reasons, but I think taking it as a general view is not something that we want to, because I don't know for sure, but I believe in politics, they even say that the first lady or the first husband is usually not part of the government. They're just part of the first family, but they are not appointed by the state. They only come along as because of the attachment to the president as a spouse. But if you take it from that angle to the level of a politician, let's say a minister or whatever, it might depend. Maybe he's saying that because of some experiences or some stories that he has heard. But I think that it will depend on every individual situation. Yeah. If someone's, and it's not just wives. I mean, he's talking about wives, right? But some politicians are women as well. So how about the husbands? But I think even if we're going to stick to the wives, where he's focusing on the wives, I think that it will depend on the situation. If a politician has a wife who likes lavish lifestyle, then the husband might be forced to steal or to engage in corrupt practices just to satisfy her financial or material needs. But I think it will be on a case-by-case basis.
What do you think? Is there a point to it? Does he have a point? That's the whole question.
He doesn't. The price of greatness is responsibility. It's what I call self-responsibility. So I can't. Yes, sometimes we get influenced a little bit by friends and loved ones. Yeah. But 80-90% of the time, you look at your situation or the opportunity that befalls you, and then you make your decision. Yeah. So I'm not going to take it. He has been in positions before where he could have made better decisions. So why is he blaming it on let's say a wife or a girlfriend? Right. Right. If you know your wife is not advising you the right way, you are serving people. Right. You're serving a nation. Yeah. Or you've had opportunities to serve a nation. So if you feel your wife is being a bad influence, what do you do? Right.
And I would even say that maybe it should rather be that side chicks, because what we are seeing now with evidence is a lot of politicians, I can't say a lot, but some politicians we've seen with evidence have side chicks, what we call side chicks.
But this is where I'll come in and defend some of the side chicks. She's working here somewhere. Right. And you wanted to add her to your troubles.
Baby. She's working here somewhere.
You say you like the willy. Right. Twinkling, twinkling, twinkling. You are asking for trouble. Yeah. So you cannot put, because I have a side chick, that's the main reason why I'm corrupt. Right. Or getting involved in corrupt practices.
Yeah, I mean that is a really great point, because it's like when you occupy office, right? There is like, some sort of decorum, some sort of like,
Order
behaviors
that you
and things you cannot bring into the office, right? Because it requires that it's part of the requisite for the job.
Yeah.
So my thing is, we know, especially in Ghana, I can't really speak for the entire Africa though, but accountability is really a big thing that people do not want to step up to. So is it one of these cases, one of these classic typical cases of a politician not wanting to be accountable for his own actions, and he's trying to kind of like, blame or direct that into the woman's direction?
I mean, I think
that's a great point.
if you that politician makes your wife feel or experience have the experience that you can always provide anything because you're a politician. So whatever you want, some money, even if it's out of your reach, because you're a politician, you can get it. If you want some influence, because you're a politician, you can get it. If that keeps going on, then of course, over time, your wife is going to feel like, okay, we can get anything we want.
Yeah.
And if you're not lucky and you are with a lady who always wants, then it could keep going on. So even something that you can't provide, once she asks for it, by hook or crook, you must get it. And that's where what will lead you to maybe what he's talking about.
I do agree to some extent. I just feel that I always go back. You have to be responsible for your
own actions. Yeah.
Listen, maybe I know my background is not. I'm not coming from a healthy background.
Yeah.
So my aim is to change it, and I choose corruption to do that. I cannot blame the woman I am with,
right,
or the side chick.
Right.
Yeah.
It is. I know what I'm doing.
The final decision
and
comes.
if it's wrong or right,
to you to me. Yeah.
I'm sensible enough because I've been able to climb up the ladder to some extent to know what is good and what is bad.
Right.
What he's saying there, right? If you take the woman's side, as in, or the man, if a minister, she's a female, then the man is the one pushing her. It means that they know that they, the politicians, and then the general public, we are corrupt. You understand?
Right.
That is what he's trying to say, especially with the politicians.
Right.
So is that a clear case of, is he really admitting that they, like, as in his cohort, like,
that's a good question.
his government,
it could also be a decoy.
He's admitting, saying that yes, we are corrupt,
right,
but sometimes it's because of our wives.
No.
Is it an admittance?
No, he's actually, yes, he's admitting that not because of our wives. He's admitting that we are corrupt, but the reason why you cannot put all the blame on us is because of our
women.
That is an interesting take. No, that kind of like puts me in an interesting space, because now I'm thinking, okay, are you then qualified to be in this position? Because if your wife can literally persuade you to cause financial loss to the state, then are you qualified to be holding this office?
And that also brings us to the discussion where we can say it means that it's clear that people go into politics because they know they can make more than they deserve.
Yeah, but let's stay on track. If your wife comes to you, right, and she has that much influence on your decision making for the public, right, as a whole in general, then are you qualified to be in this position?
No, because it's supposed to be a job. Take any job. When you go to an office, you work for an ordinary company. You don't go in and say, okay, my wife says we should do this and that way or this way, or my wife wants this, let's do this way so that it can favor my wife. It doesn't. So why do they feel that in politics your wife can influence your decision making? Because if your wife can influence a decision to bring more money home through politics, then it means your wife is influencing political decisions. But one thing we have to remember is you're a minister or a politician to serve the people, not just of course you serve your family. But if you go to the extent where your wife or your husband, who is not part of your political position, can actually influence your decision making, then there's a question mark there. That element should even be part of the equation.
So these kind of statements, is it really necessary to say it out, like in a public spectrum like he did? Or you think it was absolutely unnecessary to say something like that?
you see, sometimes people get cocky, especially when you find yourself in a certain position. And since childhood, I've heard this guy's name. And sitting here, I'm quite old.
He's
now.
still
and
on
he's
the scene.
still doing his stuff.
Yeah.
And for him to come out and say, yes, we are corrupt, or we practice corruption because of the relationship we have or we having outside. Our marriage, our friends, our stuff. To me, he's done. He's done. It's like he's just rubber stamping what we all know already. You understand? So I'm not surprised, because we know that our politicians, 99.99 are corrupt. You know? But you will not interview any of them and they would want to shift the blame.
Blatantly admit it and shift the blame.
It's cockiness. I feel. I feel it's cockiness.
I feel like it's also unfair to the wife though, because now it's like, if I know the wife, I'm going to be looking at her funny now.
Exactly.
It's like,
and that's also, sorry to cut you off, that's also what I wanted to come to. So your wife has every right to demand a good life, a better life from you.
Yeah, because you promised her.
Legally married, exactly. You're legally married wife. So however you bring money or the goodies home, it's not her business. And if she pushes you, she wants something, and you go to steal, let's say steal from the government or from the people and bring to her, the blame shouldn't go to her.
Let me ask you a question.
Right.
Just a quick one. Are you sure he will go home and tell the wife, oh, I got this millions from D. D gave me these millions to do this, that,
or from a government contract,
or from a government,
like that,
I'm supposed to do this road. I'm supposed to whatever.
But we can keep the money.
But we can keep the money.
Right.
No.
I'm sure some of them actually
not all the time. Because most of the time, I'll give you a typical example. There's this, what is his name? John something. He passed away. MPP, former MPP, minister for whatever. And when his will came out,
recently, like 2 years ago or something. He owed part of their Chimoto Legon forest or whatever.
Even some of the family members and then their wives and people were surprised. You know, so it means that not everything they don't show, they don't tell. Because listen, I love and respect you guys. If you find yourself in a political position or serving the nation, and you keep coming in and telling me that, oh, listen, I got this deal. There'll be a point I'll tell you, listen.
That's
it can go south. You understand?
Yeah.
So he's just trying to shift the goalpost to the wife. Because I know every woman that loves the husband, or every man that loves the wife would just one day will say, no, you've crossed the line with this one.
It's come too much. I
feel it's a bit apathetic though. I feel like it's not really cool saying that about your wife.
They don't but they forget. Okay, wait with the wife a little bit. For him to even grant an interview, to say that to the general public, it's total disrespect.
Exactly.
For the citizens, because people like him.
But
hold on. Let me give my fire. That's my fire.
Cool.
People like him, they've had opportunities to change the country. Maybe he has not been a minister. Maybe I don't have forgotten his positions, but he's
a senior member of
You've been interviewed. Say something positive. Give us a light.
But that's the point I wanted to make, is that I feel like they've conditioned the citizenry to a point that people are immune.
They don't respect us anymore.
People are immune to these kind of comments. Like they just brush it over and they move on to the next. Exactly.
This guy, that is how he is. He comes and says stuff.
That's my point. So people don't really take them serious. Because saying that is very, very disrespectful.
We don't hold them to any
accountability,
form of
right? Accountability.
Right.
So when it happens like that, they'll come and say things like this.
Exactly.
You understand? It is disrespectful to the public, and then to the wife also. And even to himself.
Let's jump on that train for a second. If you were the wife, what would you think would do?
I'll slap him.
After this interview, how would you feel? What would you do? How would you even approach him? when he gets home?
Obviously, I would want to ask him to explain a few details. Is he, if I know that I'm not a demanding type, is he using this statement as a decoy? Does he have like another girlfriend somewhere who demands from him? Because
no,
I don't.
Let's even say you do.
No,
Right?
so
You do demand
to be the wife.
Yeah.
Asking, okay, I know I've not encouraged
hold
you
on.
to
Exactly.
do this. So
What if-
maybe
where is the money
come
going?
into
Hold
my-
on. No, what if she's actually been asked for stuff as a woman, as a wife? It's her right to ask her husband for
Exactly.
stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But she's not telling you like,
Do
Go and
this
take
straight up,
money.
go
Yeah,
take state
yeah.
money and give me
Right.
this, give me that. So I
Right.
feel like it doesn't make sense regardless.
Yeah, and even if the wife is the one demanding for these things, you shouldn't even talk about it in public. It's something that should stay in your bedroom
Exactly.
or something.
All right, let me just quote what he actually said. He said, in politics, if you have a bad wife, that can lead you to engage in corrupt activities. Now, that is interesting. Does it mean he has a bad wife? You see, that's what I'm saying, that it's
Okay,
very,
that one
very
I cannot tell,
disrespectful
but
to
I
the
want
wife.
to use some of the past politicians that have been caught by doing deals, and publicly they've been ridiculed and
Yeah.
they've been sent to jail, some of them, and blah blah blah. Are you telling me? Because I've forgotten his name. Is it wodemaya or something?
What
Wodemaya, yeah.
Yes. He went to jail, and they were going back and forth through court and whatever.
Yeah.
But after everything, he went back to the wife.
Yeah.
But the point is, he said,
And there's
it's a
another
big
thing he
if,
said
though.
here.
He said if,
he
right?
said because your wife is nagging.
Yeah, he said because your wife
Look at-
is nagging.
Look at what
Look at what my colleagues have. It's like, your fellow ministers or chairman or whatever. Look at what they have. So it's like you're being cheated and all that. Then that can convert. He said that can convert a wise and principled person into somebody who will be doing wrong things. So just because your wife is nagging and saying, hey, look all this money floating around in your department or in your ministry, right? Look at that guy's wife. They kind of live in war. Why don't we have the same thing?
On this part of the statement, I agree with him because it's true.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Let me just land.
Okay.
Sometimes a nagging wife truly can force you to do some crazy things.
No, but we have to split that. Nagging
that's why I
and
said hold
forcing.
on, hold
on.
Wait, nagging and forcing.
That's why I said hold on a second.
No, wait. But then the decision on how to make changes will
Ultimately,
depend on you.
exactly.
Listen, that doesn't mean you
I'm
should
saying
go
it
steal state
again.
money.
Personal responsibility leads
Exactly.
to national transformation,
Right.
and personal transformation.
Right.
So, yes, we do have wives, family members, and stuff. They do push us.
Yeah.
But your what do you call it? What you stand for, your standards,
Right.
sometimes leads you,
Right.
and you try to do the right thing.
Exactly.
So I'm not saying, so we do get influenced by people
Most deaf.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But I have to, when it happens,
Right.
that, Steve, you've been caught. I'm corrupt. I cannot go around and saying, I was doing it because my
Yeah.
friends were
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. That he's right to say that it's a fact. Some women can force their husbands into doing crazy things, but that doesn't mean as a husband you should go and steal state money. And that also brings us to the point where politics has reached a point of impunity where anyone thinks that if they have pressure, they can just steal state money to satisfy.
It's not really impunity. It's realistic because in Africa, especially in Ghana, nobody gets
penalized,
convicted, or
whatever.
exactly like
Yeah.
nothing really happens. So now the interesting thing I noticed is, like he said, that can convert a wise and principled person. Because if you are wise and principled, I do not think your wife can nag you into being a corrupt person.
Yeah.
Wise and principled.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Ultimately, the
Your
final
standard.
decision, yeah.
You have to have standard in
So
life.
that's what you're saying. So it means inside of you actually have that mindset,
Right.
but you just needed that little push.
And you're not ready for political position.
The way, sometimes, is it good to be corrupt? No. But you want to look at it this way. Maybe you needed to do something. You can come up with any excuse.
Corruption
here.
by accident.
Yes. No mean small money.
Is
I
there
didn't
a
want
thing
it.
like that?
Yeah,
Corruption by accident, okay.
The money was too good. When I saw the money, I shivered. It confused me. You can come up with any,
Yeah.
but you know, you can do 1, 2, 3. That is what the word you use, impunity.
Yeah.
The moment you go from 3,
You know that
you cannot blame
you are
any.
untouchable.
Yes.
Yep, exactly.
But this is really like nudging on my brain. Can you kind of like conceptualize this? It's like if you cannot stand your ground with your wife nagging at you for a better life or whatever, right? How can you represent an entire country?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they're like external forces, right? Diplomatic relations, like you get forces and pressure
Even
from
your very position, someone else wants
But that's what I'm saying, from your community, from national level, like community level. International level.
Imagine someone like him, saying that I'm corrupt because my wife, somebody who loves you, probably have kids with.
Yeah.
You cannot even
stand your ground.
And
you as the man, you were the man at the head of the family.
To go to
manage
other countries.
Yeah.
Negotiate with
Negotiate
top elite officials. Yeah.
How can you do that? Because those other countries, they are representatives. They are not coming. They are not joking.
Why he's going to negotiate? He's going to negotiate for that wife and his family.
No, but don't you even think the wife can negotiate better than he can?
Exactly. If you cannot stand
the
your
wife
nagging
can
wife,
actually negotiate better than he can.
and your nagging wife pushes you to steal money from the
Makes
states.
no sense.
Yeah, I feel like, and it also makes me think that maybe a statement like this was made just in advance so that when politicians misappropriate money in the future, people cannot blame them. They will blame it on the wife because it's like kind of buying people's conscience before something happens.
All right, amigos, I think we got to bring it to an end. You guys make up your own mind. If you ask me, I would tell you a few things. One, I don't think it was a great thing to say out in public, especially being like, a very reputable public figure. Yeah. It doesn't look good on you, your wife, or your family as a whole. Because you might say he was just, speculating and whatnot, but I feel like it has to be a personal experience, right? It has to come from a personal experience. Yeah. Secondly, you must be a simp and a wimp, right? To come out openly and say this about women. I'm not even talking about your wife specific, about women in general, right?
Exactly, yeah.
There is a bit of an undertone that doesn't really sit well with it.
You don't sound responsible to me.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And
thirdly,
and sometimes even a good, I think most women will even want a good name than just the fame and money. Because that will pass away. But if you're old and they say, oh, when your husband was in this position, he did this good thing for us. Yeah. I think that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So it's really unfair for
him. Yeah. So thirdly, take, like you said, personal accountability, right? Be responsible for your own actions. Do not point fingers at your wife, your friend, your department, your ministry, right? You took the decision to be in that position. You took an oath, right? You saw in the Bible. This is what you're going to do. All right, folks, we're going to keep going on and on and on and on. It's about time we wrap up because we don't want the video to be too long because I don't think anybody wants to sit through an hour-long conversation. So, leave your comments, like, and sub. To the next episode, it's DLS out.
Peace.